That's cool. I know this is going to be a controversial opinion here, but I think this is... So it looks like it finally happened. To no one's surprise, Splice has hopped on the AI hype train. But what does this mean for producers, songwriters, composers, etc.? Is this the first step in us losing our jobs? We're going to find that out right now. So I got an email today that said AI-powered Splice is here. And so naturally I was like, I need to make a video about this. I'm going in blind. I have no idea if this thing is good or not. The first thing you see when you open up Splice right now is this. AI-powered Splice is here and blah, 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 blah. Create a stack. We're going to click that and see what that does. Already off the bat, it just seems ultra simple and minimal. It looks like they don't really want you to have to think about anything. You just pick a style and in theory, it's going to build you a song of some kind or an idea. So let's see what that does. So I'm going to go with some lo-fi wave, see what that sounds like. Okay. All right, so first impression is that it's not that bad. It actually sounds musical, which a lot of these musical AI things that I've used in the past, they're just
garbage.
But this I can see creating a decent starting point for a song. And funnily enough, this is actually working in a pretty simple way. It's doing essentially what I would do as a producer if I had no idea where I wanted to start. And so right now I'm just telling it that I wanted a lo-fi wave kind of thing. And it probably searched that term in Splice, found a bunch of compatible stuff that's in a similar BPM range, in the same key, and then just kind of threw them together. And now we can preview it separately. So let's check that out again. And it looks pretty cool because from what I can tell, yeah, I can mute everything separately. So I've got these drums and these keys. I can totally see myself starting off a song with these two loops together. And let's try to add the bass back in. Okay, and it looks like it has like a little basic mixer in here, which is kind of cool. It looks like this synth is already kind of like, it's not really working for me. So I'm going to go ahead and trash that. And let's see what the FX was doing. Also trash. But already here, I've got something that could work, and it looks like I can change the BPM a little bit. Okay, so let's say I wanted to add, it looks like I have some options here for what else I can add. Let's add some percussion. All right, that's interesting. Interesting choice there, spliceai. But the cool thing is that it looks like we can just refresh. Let's mute the keys for a second. And it looks like I could just keep cycling through it. That's cool. Off the bat, this is a useful tool. I know this is going to be a controversial opinion here, but I think could actually save a ton of time in developing an initial idea. I'm already getting some ideas for this. I want to see what it'll do if I try to throw in chords. How well will these chords play with what I already have, for example? Turn it up. Okay, I mean, it's just giving me one sort of chord, so I'm curious what happens if I give it... This is cool. Let's try to mute this bass. This doesn't quite work because the rhythmic elements aren't working quite well. So let's try that again. This is cool. This bass was a little busy, so I'm gonna try something else. I might regret it. This is a little bit nicer because like they fit a little bit better together. Okay, this is interesting. This is cool. I expected it just to be like, okay, you have to manually download everything, but it looks like you can just straight up export it into an Ableton session or stems, which is interesting because that'll mean that it'll already be lined up to the BPM that you're doing it at and the key that you're doing it at, or you can download the original samples. Let's see. I'm really curious how the Ableton session thing works. So I'm going to download that. Let's go ahead and open that up and see what it sounds like. All right, so that worked. It opened up in Ableton and I can now start tweaking it. That's super cool. Let's see what else we can do with it. Let's try something new. Let's make an entirely new thing. I'm really curious to see how it hip hop. Did I misspell that? hip hop? Or are they just trying to be cute? I don't know. Whatever. Let's try dance pop. Okay. This is very questionable choices here, Splice AI. But the first thing that sounds terrible to me is the synth, the bass. Is there something we can do here? Okay, let's trash everything else. Let's try a different bass. A little too repetitive. So it's giving me a lot of just like straight notes, which is interesting. It's not what I want. So it's doing something interesting, which is it seems to have like settled into this idea that it needed to stay on one note because I guess maybe the lead loop is too short. It's interesting. I want to see what happens if we maybe trash it and add something else again. It looks like it's going to use the same thing. Yeah. Okay. So I'm starting to figure out what's going on here. It looks like the drums and the bass are intricately. There it is. They're tied together intricately. Wow. I can't even say words. So I wonder if I change the drums and it finds something longer. Let's go ahead and mute that. Okay. Now, will the bass be longer if I refresh it? It's still stuck on that thing. Let's trash it all together. Let's try again. Okay. So it looks like also if you trash it and then restart, it's just going to bring back the same thing. So that was kind of a failure. Let's try something else. Let's try another dance pop. Let's start from scratch. See if that maybe gives us something fresh. It seems that for certain genres like pop, it just smashes you with something overwhelming. So not the most inspiring thing, but if you start smaller, I could see this kind of working. And here I'm noticing that it's us also pulling from the same sample pack here. So it makes sense. Again, this is something that I already do on my own. Essentially, if I find a cool drum sound, I usually then, maybe I'll try to find a sister kind of bass loop from that same pack or something similar. So it seems like it's just doing what a human would do. Mind you, a lazy human like myself, and doing that work for you. It does take away a little bit of the fun part of discovering your own sound, but if you're in a rush and you just want to get something done, I could see this being very helpful. Let's add some guitar. A little verse. Okay, cool. So we could do that. And then chorus would be like... Again, it seems like this tool is cool. I mean, it's in beta, so I think it's going to keep getting better. They made it simple enough to where it's clearly meant to just be a way to generate quick little ideas and not a way to just try to, generate a whole song using just Splice samples. And so I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's a good tool. Good job, AI. You're doing okay. You haven't taken over yet, and you are helping humans out a little bit. So we'll see how this progresses, but first impressions, pretty good. It looks like even if you don't have an account, you can try this out. So just go over to splice.com/sound/create, I think it is. Even if you don't have an account, it lets you kind of generate different ideas. And then, it's a cool way to like put together stuff without having to spend any credits. So go check it out. So that's it for this video. I'm curious to hear what you think. Is this garbage? Is this setting music industry in the wrong direction? Is this going to end up making music sound more mundane? I don't think so, but some people feel that way. Let me know how you feel. And if you like the video, go ahead and subscribe because I think I want to see what it would be like to create a song using nothing but this as a starting point. So maybe in the very near future, I'll be making a video like that. And if you're interested in that, you can subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Thanks for watching.